Troubleshooting carburation problems for some technicians can be very frustrating at times. In this program, we will attempt to simplify that process and separate carburation problems from other engine-related problems that appear to be carb-related and are not. The Tecumseh Carburetor Troubleshooting Book and Mechanic's Manual can be a good source of information to zero in on problems. Sometimes the expert home technician has fine-tuned his unit in the garage at home, and the repair is as simple as correcting his repair job.
Boy, I guess a bit. Whoa, we better get it ready to run this fall. Oh, we got plenty left in there for last year yet. Well, I'll tell you, I gotta fine tune this here Tecumseh carburetor. Got my tools. Oh, we'll save this one to last. Okay. We'll do another tune-up on it. You dirty, rotten. No. Well, I guess I'm calling on them there technicians to look at her now. Come here. I want you to take a look at this here piece of equipment. Now, you worked on this for me last year, and it's back to the same thing again. It runs fast, and then it runs slow, and it even puffs big belches of black smoke out the muffler. Now, I haven't done nothing to this unit since you had it last year. I want you to fix it right now.
Well, sir, I think in order to do the proper repair job, and since I have the truck here, we might as well take it right back to the shop.
Well, why don't you take it back to the shop?
Well, then I'll go ahead and do that.
All right, come on.
The first step to take is to assess the condition of the unit to be worked on. What kind of maintenance has been performed? Has the air cleaner been replaced? Is it plugged? Or has it been removed completely? Check these areas. If it is a polyfoam element, has the oil settled in the filter, or has it been over-oiled? Either condition can create a rich running engine. With a dirty element or the air cleaner removed, dirt may have been allowed to enter the engine and caused internal problems to the engine that, in fact, may not be related to the carburetor. If dirt has been drawn into the choke and throttle shaft area, this will create an air leak that may not be adjusted out. Tecumseh has been placing dust seals on many shafts and chrome plating them to cut down on dirt wear in this area. On units with closed breather systems, make sure the breather tube has not been removed, allowing the engine to draw dirt in through this area. Make sure the engine is stopped and place the engine control in the fast position and reset the governor. Check the linkage to make sure it is hooked up properly. Let's attempt to recreate this situation. Let the engine warm up 3 to 5 minutes. Find the lean and rich of the high-speed adjustment screw and set in the middle of turn. It is best to find the lean first and then the rich. Finding the rich first tends to make the technician go past the actual lean drop-off. Bring the engine down to idle and allow the engine to catch up. Find the lean and rich just as before. Remember, the idle mixture screw will either be adjusting air or fuel. Take the engine back to high speed. Reset the main. Return the engine to idle and reset the idle. Make sure the adjustments are made twice. Check the microfiche card 30 for the proper idle and high speeds of the engine being worked on. If these procedures have not taken care of the problem, there are some other areas to look at. Is the equipment of seasonal nature? Has it been stored for a while? Check the fuel for being stale or dirty. Has the fuel in the carburetor bowl started to varnish? Varnish can plug or partially plug passages. If there is a white scale on the carburetor body, it is evidence of water in the fuel. Once this oxidation to the aluminum begins, as shown here in its early stages, there is no stopping it. Therefore, the carburetor should be replaced with a new one. Air leaks at the carburetor gaskets can cause a hunting condition as well. It's a good rule to follow that any time a gasket is disturbed, a new gasket should be used in its place. A couple of other areas to check are the choke and throttle plates and return springs. Check them for sticking. This customer thought a good, solid rap with a hammer would take care of a sticky throttle. Instead, it created an air leak at the throttle shaft from the bowl side. An area that is often overlooked when troubleshooting this condition is the float. Check for the proper float height. And worn shaft and bosses, along with leaks. Don't forget the rubber O-rings on the mixture screws, another area for possible air leaks. If the engine will not accelerate, check the air cleaner. Though it may act as a carburetor problem, it in fact may be an ignition problem with the engine out of time. If the engine dies in between idle and high speed, the idle secondaries may be plugged, the result of dirt or varnish contamination. Be sure to remove all Welch plugs before cleaning the carb in cleaners. Let's proceed to yet another frustrating situation. The engine runs fine at high speed, but will not idle. The first step to take would be to check the mechanic's manual for the proper idle mixture screw preset, or the setting that you have found to work for you from past experience. Preset the idle speed by turning the crack screw out and then in until it touches the throttle plate, and then one turn. This will give you a ballpark idle speed setting. Then, recheck many of the areas that we have already discussed, such as worn choke and throttle shafts, adjustments on the mixture screws, bent choke and throttle plates, governor adjustment and float setting. Check the fuel system for dirt, varnish, water, and possibly a sharp bend in the fuel line. Don't forget the gaskets. When the carburetor floods, it is generally dirt in the area of the inlet needle and seat. Some repairmen put the seat in upside down. Remember, the groove goes into the carb body. There are a number of ways to remove the seat. A shot of air pressure, a crochet hook, a paper clip with a hook on the end will all do the trick. To insert a new one, place a drop or two of oil on the seat and press it in until it bottoms out. Use a punch or a point plunger. Please, don't use metal screws that could damage the inlet cavity bore. Check the float for a hairline crack or hole that would cause fuel to enter the float and sink. If the atmospheric vent hole is plugged, the carb will flood also. Sometimes, on a rebuild job, it may be necessary to loose the bowl nut and turn the bowl a little and then reposition the bowl to stop a flooding condition. This reseals the bowl gasket. If the carburetor is leaking around the fuel fitting, remove the old fitting and insert a new one. First, remove the old fitting. Put a drop of red Loctite on the shank of the fitting and press it into the shoulder. It is important to use a vise with protective jaws so that the carburetor is not damaged. Don't attempt to move the fuel fitting with a wrench. This is a metal shank into a glass-filled nylon fitting. The turning action will only damage this bond and can cause a leak. Overspeed at high speed and idle are generally the result of a lean condition at those speeds. Check for air leaks. This is done after the governor has been set to eliminate that problem. There are times when the engine is still hard to start after the carburetor repair has been made. One of the major causes for this condition is that the speed control panel has not been reset. To set the speed control panel properly after it has been removed is to first make an adjustment tool. Use a coat hanger or another piece of straight wire about the same diameter. Cut it about 6 inches long. Run the wire through the control panel, through the choke actuating lever, and through the choke plate. Place the throttle control in the fast or high speed setting. When all three are aligned, tighten the control bracket down. This will ensure full choke in the choke position and also make sure that the engine is not partially choked in the high speed position. Tecumseh has been using a Loctite impregnator since 1979 to seal the microscopic porosity that can exist in the casting. This eliminates air leaks through the car body. In about 1981, Tecumseh put on an iridescent dye in the solution so that it shows up purple under a black light. As a quick review of service procedures for cleaning the carburetor, please follow these steps. Remove the carb from the engine. Mark the positioning of the governor controls. A sketch might be one way to do it. Take out the choke and throttle shafts, along with the dust seals. Remove all of the rubber components from the carb. The fuel fitting can stay. Carefully take out the Welch plugs. Soak the carburetor in a commercial carburetor cleaner no longer than 30 minutes. Some cleaners are so harsh, this may be too long. So, know your solvent. Use compressed air and soft tag wire to clean the passages. No drill bits. Replace the Welch plugs. If you're worried about sealing, use nail polish on the plugs. It dries fast, and it's thick. It doesn't dissolve in gasoline. Please use new replacement shutter screws. They have a dry adhesive on them to keep them from coming loose. The next question you have is, can I use Loctite on them? It has been our experience that some people feel if a little Loctite is good, a lot is better. The Loctite runs down the shaft and in most cases fastens the throttle in the wide open position. The operator starts the engine and boom, positive crankcase ventilation, a hole right in the block. There are not cut and dried solutions to carburetor problems, but we hope that we have helped you find some answers. It may take some extra effort to troubleshoot carburetors. There are no shortcuts, so take the little extra time to do a thorough carburetor job. Good luck. Keep an eye out for other Tecumseh video presentations to help you in the repair of the Tecumseh product line.